it's going to work or if it's going to work. We're certainly going to hope for it. Let's see what pops up on the computer so I can see what you guys are seeing. See if this is fixed from the last time, because the last time it was definitely way off. Don't know how this is going to look. I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing. But we shall see. See what we shall see. Now this looks a little bit better from what I can tell. So let me fix that. Okay, I think we're back in business here. Let me get this back to where I need it. And hopefully things will be back in business. I don't know what the heck happened on that first one with the ratio being what happened, you know, the ratio thing or whatever that was going on, but it looks like now we are cooking with gas. So Ben, if you're around, let's see, did I go? I went the wrong way, didn't I? Let's go back this way. Don't want to be tilted. Hello, Alan. How you doing? Had a little trouble with the first routine, the aspect ratio. This one's not perfect, but it's a lot better than what the first video that I tried was. So this one's, you know, obviously a little bit better. That's why I like to record, because I get better quality. Live streaming on this YouTube app just doesn't seem to be my thing. I don't know. Probably need to. It's probably better to stream on, you know, OBS or something like that, but I don't have a fancy camera or anything, so I don't know how to do all that. Hello, Prague. How you doing? All right, so I said the aspect ratio looks a little funky, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was previously. So I think we're okay here. Let me wipe off the lens to make sure there's no blur, I should say. Hello, Gerald. How you doing? Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody had a good. Hello, Chuck. Hope everybody had a nice Christmas holiday. And if you have time off, that's a blessing too. All right, so we are looking at the Tigers and the Yankees from Yankee Stadium. This game was played April the 20th. Tigers enter the game 5-6. Yankees enter the game 7-5. Starting pitchers: Rick Rhoden against Jack Morris. Rhoden's 1-1. Morris is 0-2. Ballpark effects for Yankee Stadium: singles are 1-7 for both lefties and righties. Home runs, the lefties get a little bit more of an advantage. They have an 11. Right-handers have a 9. So there are your starting lineups, your benches, and your bullpens for both teams. As far as I'm aware, I'll double check it, but hello, Sean, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you. We pull up the Strat computer. I think all of the bullpen guys are rested, but I will double check that. Yeah, Detroit doesn't have anybody showing tired. Yankees in their bullpen do not either. So both bullpens, whatever work they've gotten recently has not made them any single pitcher be tired. So looks like they are good to go. Rick Rhoden will be finishing up his warm-up tosses, and he'll be facing Lou Whitaker to start out for the Tigers. Again, Rick Rhoden comes to the game 1-1 with a 4.09 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 18 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. And he's not given up any long balls. Lou Whitaker comes to the game hitting 196 in 46 at-bats, a homer and 7 runs driven in. So we're going to go ahead and get this game going. Hopefully it still looks a little blurry on my end. Maybe I need to fix something here. Hold on. Let me do one more thing. Oh, because I didn't have it on the right thing, for one thing. See if that makes it. Yeah, it helps a little bit. I only had it on 720 instead of 1080, so that makes a difference too, I guess. Let me look through my phone and do one final. That's the best I'm going to get it right there, I think. Okay. Now we're ready to go. Lou Whitaker steps in against Rhoden. And we're underway. 3-8. 3-8. 1-2 is a double. Anything else he flies to right, that's a 4. So he will fly it to right field. And Dave Winfield will put that away for out number 1. And, of course, I'm scoring the game in the computer as I'm playing it. And that way we can get a box score and all the stats and whatnot when the game is over without me having to do it manually. So one away, and that's going to bring up Pat Sheridan, sitting 263 in 38 at bats. One home run, which is his only run driven in. It's a 5-8 left-handed. 1-2 is a double. That's a 14. It will be a single for Pat Sheridan. So Sheridan will help his average with the single. Sheridan will have to be held. He does have the asterisk. If he tries for the lead and we roll 11 or 12, he's automatically caught stealing. But he's got a good opportunity to get a lead here. And the pitcher-catcher hold interface is a -1 for the Yankees. So if Sheridan gets the lead, that would be a 15, then -1 to 14, then being held make him a 12. Be a 1-12. So they still might try to get the lead here. So 1-12 would be if he gets the lead. To get the lead, he needs a 2 through 7 or a 10. Needs to avoid 11 or a 12. That's a 3. He does get the lead. So he will take the lead. It's a 15. And then, of course, the -3 factor for being held, -2 for being held, and -1 for the pitcher-catcher hold makes that a 12. So 1-12, he steals second base. And he does, and it's a 3, so it's a possible throwing error on Joel Skinner. His T rating is an 8. And Skinner throws it away, so it's not only a stolen base for Sheridan, but it's an E2 on Skinner for throwing the ball away on the attempted steal. So we have a stolen base plus throwing error. And that'll put Sheridan at third base with only 1 out. And now the Yankees are going to play in. Try not to give up a cheap run. Here goes Matt Noakes. He's leading the league in home runs with 6. He's hitting .294, 6 homers, 13 runs driven in. He's got 6 home runs and 34 at bats. Havoc roll, nothing happening, but the infield is in. Try to choke the runoff. 110 for Noakes, and that's a ballpark blast. And home runs are 1-11. That's a 3. That is home run number 7 for Matt Noakes. He has increased his league lead now to 7. That's a 2-run bomb. And the Tigers lead it 2-0. Look at it again, 110. Right-handed is a ballpark blast. And Yankee Stadium 1-11 for lefties. That's a 3. So Matt Noakes home run number 7. And RBIs 14 and 15 for Matt Noakes. And the Tigers lead it 2-0. As they shake up Rick Rhoden, and somewhere George Steinbrenner's looking on not happy. Here's Darrell Evans. He's struggling at a .195. 1 home run and 1 run driven in. 6-5 to a lefty is a strikeout. So Evans will continue to struggle. He's out of there. 2 down for Johnny Grubb. Grubb's hitting .226. No homers and 4 runs driven in. It's a 210, and that's a ground ball back to Rhoden to end the inning. But the damage done on Matt Noakes' 7th home run. And at the end of half an inning to play, it's the Tigers 2 and the Yankees coming to bat. And Jack Morris has been given a 2-0 lead to protect. When you look at the numbers on Morris on the replay, he has struggled. He is 0-2 with an ERA of 7.82. 13 innings pitched, 16 hits, 7 walks, 9 strikeouts. He has given up 7 home runs in 13 innings of pitching. So the long ball has definitely been his biggest weakness. But maybe in this game he's got a chance to redeem himself. Claudell Washington will lead it off. He's in limited duty hitting .333. He's 5 for 15. No homers and 2 runs driven in. It's a 3-7, and that's a strikeout. So a good start from Morris as he puts the K on Claudell. 1 down for Willie Randolph, and Randolph's hitting .318. No homers, 3 runs driven in. 4-3, and that's a fly ball left field X. Left fielder Grubb is a 4 and an E3. So as a 4 outfielder, he's going to need some help. He needs a 13 or higher to get to this. He does not. It's going to be a double. So it'll be a double for Randolph. Now we're checking for an error. He's an E3. He's got to avoid 315 and 18, which he does. But it will be a double for Willie Randolph as Grubb was not able to get to it. It fell in the gap. And Randolph trots into second base with a stand-up double. That'll bring up Donnie Baseball. He's hitting .320. 2 homers, 8 driven in. Randolph not being held at second base. Morris to Mattingly, 2-5. That's a ground ball to first, and that'll get the runner over to third. But now there are two away. As Evans just steps on the bag unassisted. So 2 down for Dave Winfield in a clutch situation. Winfield hitting .314, 3 homers, 9 runs driven in. 1, so his chance of a wild pitch, and Morris's wild pitch rating is an 18. So he could very likely wild pitch in a run, which he does. So that's going to score the run, the wild pitch from Jack Morris. Kind of a cheap run, but the Yankees will take it. Scores Randolph. No longer a clutch situation now for Winfield. 4-8, and he's going to strike out to end the inning, but that wild pitch cost him a run. We played 1 here at the stadium, and it's 2-1 Tigers. So I was glad to get the ratio back a little bit better than what it was earlier. It was really bad the first time around. I had to actually stop the stream and redo it to try to get it right, and it's still kind of funky looking, but it's passable, I guess. Hello, Mr. Gardner. How are you? Hardwood Heaven. Nice to see you there as well. Yeah, hello, GGG. Good to see you. And Dave Gardner, go back to the question I left on Ron's thing on Facebook. I've been trying to stream this game all day long, and every time I turn around, somebody else was streaming. And I was like, okay, I'll wait till somebody else finishes, and then somebody else jumped on. And so that's why I brought the topic up to Ron, and maybe you guys could talk about that on his on his little mailbag thingy or whatever. My personal opinion is I think it's okay to stream whenever you want to, because like you said, some people's schedules, you got to do what you got to do, you know. And people have a choice. If they don't catch it live, they can always catch it on the demand, as they say. So yeah, if I'm in a mode like, okay, do I feel like streaming anything or not, then I'll look and see who's on. But if it's something I'm planning like this, I'm going to go ahead and stream. I saw RJL was doing his Arkham thing, but, you know, I can't be streaming at, 11 o'clock at night. So he's doing Arkham. This is Strat-O-Matic. So I figured that's 2 different games. So people can have their choice. And like I said, they can always catch, the replay if need be. And in fact, on most of these videos, hello, Mr. RJL, your ears must have been burning. Most of these videos, like I've said in another video, say for example, I get 200 views on this video, 180 of those views are going to be on the rerun, not going to be live. So really, it's nice to have the chat and be able to talk to people back and forth, but for the people that do it after the fact, they could care less when I stream. So, all right, here's Darnell Coles. Enough of the soapbox. Darnell Coles is up, and Coles is hitting .214, no homers, 7 driven in. That's a 6-7, and that's going to be another strikeout for Rick Rhoden, his second of the game. But in case anybody came in late, Matt Noakes' 2-run homer, his league-leading 7th home run in the first inning, gave the Tigers a 2-1 lead, and then a double by Randolph. He went to third on a ground out, and a wild pitch from Morris sent him home. That's where we are. Here's Chet Lemon, center fielder. And Lemon's in real trouble. He's hitting .105 in 38 at-bats. No homers and 3 driven in. 3-6, and that's a 1-3 triple, but that's a 5. So that'll be a single for Chet Lemon. That'll certainly help the average. And Chet Lemon, boy, I thought he was faster. He has no steals whatsoever. He can't even attempt to steal, so obviously he's not going to be held. And that'll bring up the catcher, Dwight Lowry. Lowry's hitting a .125 in 16 at-bats. No homers or runs driven in. Nothing on the havoc. Rhoden to Lowry. That's a 1-5, and that's a 1-6 double, but that's a 16, so he will fly it to Winfield in right field for out number 2. 2 down, and that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Tom Brookins, at shortstop. Trammell's on the bench. I don't know if he's hurt at this particular point in time or why he's not playing, but he is available to pinch hit. But they have Brookins starting at shortstop tonight. And Brookins is hitting .429 and 21 at bats. No homers, 3 runs driven in. So they haven't missed a beat without Trammell, apparently. 612, ground ball shortstop X. That is Tollison. He's a 3E22. So as a 3 shortstop, his range, he needs to roll, or we need to roll if you're the Yankees, a 5 or higher to get to this. And he does. 12 is going to be a G2, which is a force play. And then the error chance is going to be on Tollison, E22, so 6, 15, 17, and 18. Yep, good play. So it's going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. Oops, come on. And like I said, I'm scoring it in the computer as I'm playing it. So that's why I'm a little bit delinquent maybe on the call, as I have to type those in so I can have a finished box score at the end of the game with all the stats and whatnot. Jack Morris back out. 2-1 Tigers. Bottom of the second we go for Danny Pasqua. And Pasqua is hitting .150 in 20 at bats. Does have 2 home runs and 2 runs driven in. Morris trying to get his first win of the season. He's 0-2. 1-9 is a walk. Leadoff walk to Pasqua. Pasqua will not be held. And that'll bring up Gary Ward. Ward, the designated hitter in this game, hitting .239, a homer and 8 runs driven in. Morris to Ward. 6-7, and that's a 1-7 single. 8-20 is a line to short. That's a 7. So Gary Ward gets a single. It's 1 star. So runners are at first and second, and the Yankees have a rally going against Jack Morris here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Mike Pagliarulo, third baseman. Pags is hitting .225, a homer and 5 runs driven in. 6-10 to a lefty is a catcher X. Catcher Lowry is a 4E4. So this could be trouble. 4 and a 16, he might get away with it. 4 and a 16 is a P/F. And the E4, he has to avoid 16, 17, and 18, which he does. P/F. Go to the P/F, and it says we're going to be checking the wild pitch rating of the pitcher to see if a pass ball has occurred. Well, that's not good because Morris is an 18. So in a 1-18, we're going to have a pass ball. And we do. So it's going to be a pass ball on Lowry. And that's going to put runners at second and third now with nobody out. And that's the rule on the super advanced. Super advanced right here. It's got this when using the balk, wild pitch, pass ball rules. Read the super advanced rules, and it talks about the pass ball. You check the wild pitch rating of the pitcher. But he has an 18 wild pitch, so it didn't really matter anyway. And now second and third, nobody out. Boy, they need outs, so they're going to play the infield back. Concede the run if they can get an out. Morris 1-6 to Pagliarulo. That's a fly to center field B. It's a clutch, but nobody's out, so it's not a clutch situation. But it is a possible sacrifice fly with that B question mark. Pasqua does run at an 11. Lemon is a -1 arm, so that would be a 10. So you would take the question mark. The question mark here, the 11 minus the 1 arm is a 10. You add 2 to it, makes it a 12. 1 to 12, he'd be safe on a sacrifice fly. 13 or higher, he's out. So do you take that chance? I think with nobody out, you don't take that chance. Pasqua's not that speedy, so they're going to hold the runners with 1 out. They just didn't like those odds. And here is Joel Skinner. Infield is in now with 1 out. Maybe they should have sent him, but the odds just weren't in his favor. 6-12, that's a ground ball pitcher B. Ground ball pitcher B, and the pitcher, I assume, is supposed to be in all the time. I think that's the rule, is that the pitcher by default is in. And of course, with all these other games I'm playing, I can't find my little Strat-O-Matic rule book here that says what happens on runner advancement. So hold the phone. Let me see if I can find that. Did I put it back in the box? No, I don't think so. I just have to find it. It's oh, here it is. It was buried under stuff. So let's get the rule book out for ground ball advancement. Second and third, the infield in, because the pitcher's considered in. Second, third, ground ball B is a 7. It says batter safe, lead runner is out. So how about that? Pasqua tried to score. He is out 1 to 2 on a fielder's choice. Skinner reaches first. Ward takes third. So Yankees running themselves right out of the inning. Now there's 2 away, and it's up to Wayne Tollison, the number 9 hitter, if the Yankees are to break 3 and tie this ball game. It is a clutch situation. There's a 1, so again, Morris can have a wild pitch. He's got a 1 to 18. He could wild pitch in a second run. And he does, so the havoc roll is wreaking havoc for sure. Right here, as Ward will score on the wild pitch. Second time that's happened in 2 innings. But that's just the way it is. Those ones come up more than you think. At least for me, they do. And here is Tollison still up there with Skinner now at second base, not being held. But we are tied at 2. 2-6, he's going to strike out to end the inning. So Morris has allowed 2 runs, both on wild pitches. And at the end of 2, we are tied at 2. So really wild performances there. Hello, Larry. Good to see you. Anybody else on World's Worst Gamer? Good to see you. While I was doing my Strat computer up there, I didn't have the chat up, so I couldn't see what was going on. So now I've gone through the lineups once. I don't have to read off the information, so it'll be a little quicker. I'm still keeping score, but I think I can keep up with the chat maybe a little bit better now. We shall see. So Lou Whitaker steps to the plate. Hello, Gandalf. Good to see you. Whitaker steps to the plate. He flew to right his first time. 4-11, left-handed, is a fly ball right field X. That's Winfield. Winfield's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. Checking the E3 as an outfielder. E3, he's got to avoid 3, 15, and 18, which he does. So good play for Winfield. 1 away. So 1 down as he flies to Winfield. And that will take us to Pat Sheridan. Sheridan singled, stole second, went to third on a wild throw by Skinner, and then scored in front of the home run from Matt Noakes. 3-10, and that's going to be a single for Sheridan. He's 2 for 2. And he might try to get the lead again. He needs a 2 through 7 or a 10, but he's got to avoid 11 or 12. That's a 4. He gets the lead, so he will go again. It's a 1 to 12 for Pat Sheridan. And this time he's caught stealing. 17, he's caught stealing. So he can't steal the second time successfully, as Wayne Tollison puts on the tag. And that's going to make 2 outs with the bases clear for Matt Noakes, which is unfortunate because Noakes hit his 7th home run, league-leading 7th home run his first time up. Now he's up with the bases empty. 4-6, and he's going to fly it to right field. Winfield is there, and the inning's over. So it looked promising for the Tigers, but they come away empty-handed. Go to the bottom of the third. Still 2 to 2. And Morris back out. We'll see if he can avoid wild pitches this time. Seemed to be his bugaboo. Claudell Washington will lead things off. For whatever reason, Ricky Henderson's not starting this game either. He is on the bench. So Claudell struck out his first chance. 1-9, and this time he's going to get base hit. 1-14 is a double. That's an 8. It will be a double for Claudel. Leadoff double, and the Yankees looking to take the lead. Willie Randolph is your batter with nobody out. Claudel he runs at a 15, so they will hold him on at second base to try to keep him close on a base hit. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Here's Randolph. He doubled and scored his first time up. 6-9, and that's a strikeout. A big one, too, for Jack Morris as he takes care of Randolph. But now he's got to deal with Donnie Baseball. When Mattingly grounded to first base his first time up. There's another one. Chance for another wild pitch for Jack Morris. 1-18. That is his third wild pitch. Making me question this Havoc roll thing because the wild pitches for a pitcher like Morris are going to come up too often. He's got 3 wild pitches in this game. Now the infield's going to have to come in. That's a huge wild pitch to bring the infield in against Mattingly. 3-7, and that's a fly to center field. B question mark. Possible sacrifice fly. Claudel Washington runs at a 15. Center fielder again is limited, makes him a 14, but then you add 2 for a 16. So 1-16, he will score on a sacrifice fly. And he does, barely, right on the number, 16. So sacrifice fly from Mattingly. And again, that wild pitch was what caused that run. Without the wild pitch, you don't have the sacrifice fly. And now the Yankees lead it 3-2. 2 out spaces clear for Winfield. 4-7, and that's a ground ball to shortstop X. That is Brookins. He's a 4 as a 4 shortstop. He needs 7 or higher to get to this. And he does. And an E28. He's got to avoid 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. And he does. So it's good play for Brookins to end the inning, but well, that wild pitch comes back to bite Morris again. 3 wild pitches in 3 innings, and they've led to 3 runs. Not a whole lot else you can say about that. At the end of 3, it's a 3-2 game. Now the Yankees have come back to take the lead, much to the chagrin of Sparky Anderson and the Tigers. Sparky wants to know what's going on with Jack Morris, why he's throwing all these wild pitches. All right, hello, Dab. Yeah, it's all Lowry's fault. They don't have, Matt Noakes should be the one catching, not Lowry. So maybe it's Lowry's fault. We shall see. All right, so Darrell Evans is your batter. 5-5, left-handed, is a ground ball to second. So Willie Randolph will take care of it, 1 away. And I think now I'll just score the game after the inning's over instead of going back and forth. At the end of the inning, then I'll score it. Here's Johnny Grubb. 4-10, and that is a ground ball third base X. That's Pagliarulo. He's a 2E20. So as a 2, he just needs a 3 or higher, which he gets. And then the E20, he has to avoid. E20, he has to avoid 11, 14, and 15. Which he does, but we get a 5, which is a rare play. So we get a rare play, and the 14 was 14 was a G1, so we have a G1 rare play. It's probably a thing where it hits the mound or something goofball like that. No, it says if there's a runner on first, the batter, it's a ground ball, the fielder starts a double play. Nobody on first, so it doesn't matter. It's just a ground out, so much ado about nothing as the play is made. And that's one thing Strat could really improve on, like other games, is the rare play thing. Just, take a page out of Payoff Pitch. Look how they improved theirs. Come on, Strat, you can do better than a 5. Come on now. All right, Rhoden to Cole. 6-6 is a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. So since the 2-run homer by Noakes, the Tigers have been rather quiet and haven't had much going on. So let me score this real quick in the computer. It won't take long. 4-3 ground out. A 5-3 ground out. And a fly to left. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 3-2 Yankees. And leading things off would be Mr. Pasqua against Jack Morris. Pasqua singled, but then was thrown out at the plate trying to score on a ground ball back to the pitcher. That is a 5-9 left-handed. That's a strikeout. So Pasqua out on strikes. Brings up Gary Ward, designated hitter, singled and scored. 6-7. That's a 1-7 single. That's a 20 though, so it will be a liner to short. Out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for Mike Pagliarulo. Flew to center his first time up. 112 against a right-hander. He's hit by the pitch. So Jack Morris not only throwing wild pitches, but now hitting batters. So he hits Pagliarulo. Pagliarulo will not be held. And that'll bring up Joel Skinner. Nothing on the havoc. Here is Skinner. 2-5, and he's going to hit a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. And that'll do it for the Tigers. I'm sorry, for the Yankees. They go quietly in the fourth. At the end of 4, it is still 3-2 Yankees. Nip and tuck. The April 21st game that will be on video is Toronto and Cleveland. It'll be Tom Candiotti against Jimmy Key. That'll be at the Mistake by the Lake. But Jimmy Key will be going for his league-leading 3rd win early in the season. All right, here is Chet Lemon to lead off the... Yeah, thinking Strat's going to change something is probably... Well, I'm not going to hold my breath, put it that way. All right, so here's Lemon. 6-9, and that's a fly to center. 1 away, and here's Dwight Lowry, the catcher. 2-10 for Lowry. He strikes out. 2 down. So Rick Rhoden has really settled down since that first inning. He has really gotten into a groove. Here's Brookins. 6-9, and that is a fly to center as well. 1-2-3 again. In the top of the 5th go the Tigers. Hello, Wizzy. This is 1987. 1987 is the April 20th game between the Yankees and the Tigers. And of course, this is super advanced. All right, we go to the bottom of the 5th. Due up for the Yankees will be Wayne Tollison, number 9 hitter, followed by Washington and Randolph. Tollison struck out his first chance. 2-9, and he's going to get a single to left field, so that's a good start for Tollison. Not a good start for Jack Morris. Tollison will not be held. Won't try to go anywhere. But the havoc rolls are back into play, so the wild pitches are a possibility. Not this time, though. Here's Claudel. 3-4 for Claudel. Washington's going to pop it up to first base. Darrell Evans will field it. 1 away. Runner stays at first for Willie Randolph. He's doubled and struck out. (5-4). That's another strikeout. So Jack Morris gets the K on Randolph. 2 down, and here is Donnie Baseball again. Sacrifice fly his last time up. Whoa, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. 6-5, and that is an in-home run chance on a 1. Anything else he flies to right, that's a 7. So he will fly to right field to end the inning. And Jack Morris gets through it 2 innings in a row with no wild pitches. Go figure. And we go to the 6th. It's still 3-2 Yankees. 6 is the fatigue inning for Rick Rhoden, so he is subject to start his fatigue in this inning. Got to keep an eye on that. He's going to face the top of the order, Whitaker, Sheridan, and Noakes. Whitaker is 0 for 2. He's flown to right twice. 6-6, and that's a pop out to third. Pagliarulo is there. 1 away. And that will send us to Sheridan. Sheridan's 2 for 2. He's singled twice. 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Tollison again. He's a 3. 3 and a 4 is not going to cut it. 3 and a 4 is a base hit. Base hit for Sheridan. He's now 3 for 3. Checking on an error on Tollison. 7 with a 22. He's okay there, but it will be a base hit. Sheridan is 3 for 3, 3 singles. And he's stolen a base and been caught once. So I think with Noakes coming up, they're going to hold him there. They're going to put the brakes on, tell him don't try to steal. We need Noakes to hit. So he will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Noakes. 2-9, and that is a strikeout. Boy, 2-10 would have been a ballpark blast that would have done it. But 2-9 is a strikeout. Very close, but not quite close enough. So 2 down for Darrell Evans. Evans, 0 for 2. 5-6 to the lefty as a fly to center. Put away by Claudel, and the inning is over. So 6 solid for Rhoden, particularly the last 5. I mean, really his big mistake pitch was the 2-run home run to Matt Noakes. Other than that, he's pretty much shut him down. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 3-2 Yankees. Morris has a fatigue of 8, so he's nowhere near being tired. And Donnie Baseball made the last out last time. You can't bat again, Donnie. You got to go to the back of the line. So it is Dave Winfield leading things off. Winfield is 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out. 2-11, and he's going to ground to short again. And Winfield 0 for 3. Steinbrenner is not going to probably fine him. He's not happy about that. Steinbrenner will probably put a fine in the kangaroo court. Or at least the players will in the kangaroo court and fine Winfield for going 0 for 3. Here's Pasqua, 5-4. It's a pop out to second. Whitaker is there to grab it. 2 down. And that's Gary Ward. And Ward is 1 for 2. 1-5. He's going to be 1 for 3 on a ground ball to Brookins to end the inning. So another tidy inning for Jack Morris and the Tigers. We played 6. It's still 3-2. That 3-2 from the 3rd inning has held up as both pitchers have settled in. You start at the top of the 7th. Rick Rhoden has only allowed 1 hit against his point of weakness, so he's still okay. And he'll be facing Grubb, Coles, and Lemon here in the top of the 7th of a 3-2 game. Tomorrow, I've already recorded games 4 and 5 of the Inside Pitch World Series, so I will put one of them tomorrow morning and one of them on Saturday morning, and so we can get those done and move on to a possible Game 6 if there is a Game 6 and see what happens. So right now, hello, let's see, who is Carrie B. Good to see you. All right, so top of the 7th, and Johnny Grubb, who's 0 for 2, steps to the plate. 5-8, left-handed. He's not 0 for anymore. 1 for 2 is a double, but a 3 is a single. So a base hit for Grubb, and he does not run well at all, so he will not be held. And that brings up Darnell Coles. 1, this time Rhoden may throw a wild pitch. His wild pitch rating is a 10. And he does, so it's a wild pitch, so turnabout's fair play as Rick Rhoden throws a wild pitch. And now tying run is at second base with nobody out. And here's Darnell Coles. 4-7. Ground ball second base X. You know that's going to get the runner at least to third at a bare minimum. So second base is Randolph. He's a 2. So he needs a, since the runner was not being held, so he only needs a 3 or better. And he gets a 6. That's good enough. 6 is a G2. But with the ball hit the right side, the runner's going to get to third automatically. Error chance is a E17, so we got to avoid 3, 6, 15, and 18. And we do. So it's ground ball 4-3. But Grubb will take third with only 1 out. Now the infield is going to have to come in, so the wild pitch changed the whole inning around again because you're looking at having to bring the infield in. Hello, Mr. Little. Good to see you. I think I bumped something here. Let me make sure I didn't do anything foolish or screwy. All right, so Lemon is up. Runner at third, Grubb, with 1 out in the 3-2 game, so the infield is in for Rick Rhoden. To Chet Lemon, who is 1 for 2. 2-5, and that is a ground ball to short with a plus sign. So with the infield in, that's going to turn to a base hit. Base hit Lemon, so with the infield in, so that it all stems from that wild pitch that turned the whole inning around. And now we got a tie game as Chet Lemon singles home Johnny Grubb. That plus sign with the infield in, that was the difference. Infield in, took care of it. So now Lemon will not be held. And now here's Dwight Lowry. Hello, Mr. Ivamy. How are you? Good to see you. Rhoden now trying to get out of it, facing Lowry. 2-9 struck him out. That's out number 2. 2 down for Tom Brookins. Lemon, again, not being held at first. Doesn't run well. 5-5, and that's a ground ball to second to end the inning. But the tying run comes in on the, well, the wild pitch set the whole inning up, and then with the infield in, that single with the plus brought the run home. So we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. It is now Tigers 3 and Yankees 3. And before Jack Morris starts his 7th inning of work, I'll take a quick, well, first of all, what I want to do is enter the 7th inning results into the computer so I can keep it up to speed. So Grubb singled, went to second on a wild pitch, went to third on a ground out to second base, and then scored on the single from Lemon. And then Lowry struck out, and Brookins grounded to second. Now we're up to speed, and we're at the 7th inning stretch. So I'll take a minor stretch break with everybody. And yeah, don't forget Sunday night. I'm sorry, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. I thought it was at nighttime, but it's Sunday morning. Phillies and the Orioles. Instructional slow playthrough for the inside pitch demo game. So if you want to know about inside pitch, watch Robert's game. He goes nice and slow and explains everything. So even if you've never seen the game before, you will get a very nice understanding of the game afterwards. So highly suggested if you are even curious about inside pitch to check his demo game out. All right. And actually, Yankee bullpen is now loosening. Pat Clements, I believe, is going to come in the 8th inning. I think that's going to be it for Rick Rhoden because he is pretty much at his point of fatigue. And I think with the lefties coming up to lead off the 8th inning for the Tigers, they will have Pat Clements coming on to pitch in the 8th inning. But first things first, we need the bottom of the 7th to be taken care of. And Mike Pagliarulo will lead things off. 4-4 against Morris is going to be a ground ball third base X. That is Coles. He's a 4 E37, not very good. 4 and a 9. Can he get to that? 4 and a 9 is a good play. It's a G3, which is good enough. E37 is got to avoid 9, 11, 12, and then 15 through 17. That's a 12. He could not avoid it. That's going to be an error on Cole's. E37, a 12 is a... No, let me take it back. No, he did avoid it. It's 11. Wait a minute. Am I looking at 37? E37. I was looking at second base. My bad. 37 at third base. 12 is a one base error. So it will be an E5 on Darnell Coles. Pagliarulo reaches. He will not be held. He doesn't run well. And Joel Skinner, the batter. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Morris to Skinner, 2-11. That's a hit by pitch plus injury. So Joel Skinner might be leaving the game. Since his ass played, the injury would only be for this game, not for future games. But we're going to roll based on the chart in the rule book and see what the injury result is. Skinner, as a batter, he basically needs a 1 to 4 to stay in the game. Anything above 4, he's going to have to leave. So Skinner will have to leave, and the Yankees will bring in a new catcher to take over for him. And that's Rick Cerrone, but they might use a better runner. Let's see. They're going to use Paul Zuvella to run. He's going to pinch run. Paul Zuvella, and then Cerrone would come in and catch. So Skinner is out of there. He is done. And Rick Cerrone would be the new catcher going forward. But Zuvella is the pinch runner. He runs at a 12. Not much of a steal threat, but he runs better than a catcher would run, so that's why he's there. So the new catcher is going to be Cerrone. So let's see here. We'll put it over here. Cerrone will catch in the 8th inning. All right, right now, Wayne Tollison. Boy, you'd be tempted to sacrifice here, and that's what they're going to try. He's a B bunter. The corners have come in. Makes him a C bunter. But we'll check on Havoc roll first. Nothing happening. So he is a C bunter. A C bunter. And we'll see what happens with that. Who's going to field it? 6 means it's going to the third baseman. So Darnell Coles will field it as a C bunter. We get a 7, and that's a good bunt, so it's a good sacrifice. Sacrifice hit goes 5 to 4, and that will move runners to second and third with 1 out. And now the infield will have to come in for the Tigers, try to choke the runoff. As it's Claudell Washington is your batter. Mark Thurmond, a lefty, is loosening the Tiger bullpen. So we'll see what happens with that. But the infield is in. Has to be in with the runner at third. Or runners at second and third, only 1 out. Infield is in. Moore's trying to avoid the Havoc roll of a 1, which he does. But he's got to get Claudell. 4-7, and it's a ground ball second base X. That's Whitaker. He's a 2E20. Very critical D20 roll in this 2 to see if he can prevent the run from scoring. So a 2. And we get a 19. That's a G1, so that's a good way to do it. G1. And his error rating is a 20, which means he needs to avoid 3, 13, 17, and 18. 12, he barely avoids it, so he does make the play. Now let's look at the G1. Infield in, second and third. It says batter. So batter out, runners. Wait a minute, hold on here. Infield in, not normal. It says batter. Batters out, runners advanced, only a force. Okay, they're not forced, so they're going to have to hold. Okay. So good play by Whitaker. I'm sorry, by Whitaker to hold the runner there. Runners at second and third still with now 2 outs. Infield can go back to normal for Willie Randolph. Randolph, 1 for 3. Clutch situation, 3-6. Boy, he come through in a clutch. 1 to 9 is a home run. That's a 19. It'll be a double. So either way, it's a 2-run double for Willie Randolph. And that's going to, all these runs are unearned because of the error on Coles. But the Yankees will take it. They take a 5-3 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning on the double by Willie Randolph. And now Mattingly will be issued the intentional walk. He leads the league in intentional walks. And they'll go after Winfield, who was 0 for 3. Morris trying to finish out the inning. Five, 7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's Whitaker again. He's a 2. Whitaker is a 2. 2 and 11. So a 2 and an 11 is a G1. And let's see, E20, he's got to avoid, again, 3, 13, 17, and 18. Which he does, so it's a good play to end the inning. But damage done. The 2-run double from Willie Randolph, his second double of the game. And he has given the Yankees a 5-3 lead as we go into the top of the 8th. That's going to be it for Jack Morris. His day is done. So Morris will be on the hook unless his team can rally. So let's go to the computer and put it in this 8th inning. It all started on a 1-base error from Darnell Coles. And then a hit by pitch. He hit Skinner. The sacrifice hit by Tollison was also important to get the runners in scoring position. Then the double from, the ground out to second by Claudel that froze the runners. And then a clutch double from Willie Randolph scored the 2 runs. And here we go to the top of the 8th. Let me go to the box score so I can get the totals for both pitchers, both starting pitchers. So for Rick Rhoden, he goes 7 innings, gives up 7 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned, no walks, 5 strikeouts. He is in line for the win. Jack Morris, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, only 2 were earned. Shoddy defense by the Tigers. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Pat Clements, your new pitcher for the Yankees. Pat Clements is coming into the game to face the top of the order, Whitaker, Sheridan, and Noakes, although we might see some pinch hitters. Could see some righties coming in. So Pat Clements will be on. And Clements is 0-1 with 1 save and an ERA of 6. He's a -3 hold, so that's going to help against base runners. But we shall see what happens here. Cerrone, the new catcher, of course, for Joel Skinner. So I need to update the computer to reflect that as well. Oops, Rick Cerrone in the game to catch. All right, so Lou Whitaker is going to lead it off. He's 0 for 3 in the game, so he could certainly use something good, I should say, to help him out. Could use something good to happen. May need to move this over just a hair to fit these last couple of innings. Let me see what it's looking like on the computer here to make sure everything is fitting. Oop, don't want to bump that up too much there, didn't I? Let's fix that. Before we get going, I'll make sure it's fixed. Still not quite fixed. All right, so Lou Whitaker will lead off against Pat Clements. This thing is tilted for some reason, so let's see if I can fix that. Or whether I made it worse. Might have made it worse. Nope, okay. Maybe I overfixed it. Okay. All right, we're going to go with that and just leave it alone. Lou Whitaker against Clements. 3-8. That's a leadoff walk. So Whitaker draws the leadoff walk. He will be held. It's a -3, so if he gets the lead, you're talking about a 1 to an 11 to steal. That's still better than 50, but you're down 2, so I think they're going to just stay where he is, not risk it. So Pat Sheridan was going to be called back. He's 3 for 3, but that was against the right-hander. His numbers against lefties not quite as good, although he's really good defensively, but I think you got to play the percentages here and bring in a right-hander. So Pat Sheridan will leave. How about that? He goes 3 for 3 and he's being pinch hit for. But that's the lefty-right split for you. Coming in to bat and play right field will be Larry Herndon. He's a 324 hitter, is Larry Herndon. And he's got a very good numbers against lefties. But he's a 324 hitter with 9 home runs. So Larry Herndon, and he'll stay in the game to play left field. So Herndon comes in to play left field. Pinch hit and then left field in the 8th. So Larry Herndon gets the call against Pat Clements. See what he can do. Nothing on the havoc. Clements to Herndon. 2-6, and that's going to be good move for Herndon. 1-4 is a double. 7-20 is a single, 2 stars. That's a base hit. Runners are at the corners with nobody out for Matt Noakes, and you're not going to pinch hit for Matt Noakes, that's for sure. Herndon will not be held. Infield's back for the double play. They will give up the run to get those 2 outs because they lead by 2. 6-3, it's a ground ball pitcher X. And let's see what the error rating is on Clements. Well, his error rating is 0, but his range is a 2. So he's a 2E0. 2E0 for a pitcher. So let's see what happens on that. A 3. 2 and a 3 is a G3, so the runners are going to advance. And he's an E0, so we know nothing's going to happen there. So the only play is to first base. Scoring is Whitaker. Going to second is Herndon, rather. And now it's a 5-4 ball game. Darrell Evans, your batter. Darrell Evans. Another lefty on lefty matchup. That's a 6-9, and that's a 1 for a single. Anything else, he lines to second. So he lines it to second for out number 2. And Johnny Grubb will be called back by the Tigers, as he does not hit lefties well at all. And they will go with, you know what? They're going to go with Alan Trammell to pinch hit. Alan Trammell's going to pinch hit. And then coming in to play left field will be Terry Harper. So we have Trammell and Harper. They're going to be used. So Trammell will pinch hit. Harper will take over in left field. But Trammell's up in a big spot. Runner at second. 2 down. Clutch situation. Right-hander activity. Tim Stoddard is ready in the bullpen for the Yankees if they choose to go to him to counter this move. And I believe to do that. So Tim Stoddard is going to come on. Call. Tim Stoddard will be on to relieve Clements. Tim Stoddard to face Alan Trammell, righty on righty. So Trammell gets the call, and he'll have to face Tim Stoddard. So let me get this up to date on the computer so I can get the stats for you. All right, so Evans. Wait a minute, I'm gotta go backwards here. One moment, let me finish the thing here. I forgot to take Sheridan out and put in Herndon. So let's do that real quick. Herndon's pinch hit for Sheridan, and he got his single. Make sure that gets credited to his average. Noakes hit a ground ball back to Clements, but it did score the run. And then Evans came up in line to second. And now Trammell is up to pinch hit for Grubb. Now we're up to speed. Trammell pinch hitting for Grubb. So Trammell in the replay is hitting .375 in 16 at bats. Stoddard, let's get Stoddard in the game for the Yankees. Stoddard is 1-0 with an ERA of 0 in 5 innings. 3 hits, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. So he's been tough. He's going to need to be tough to deal with Alan Trammell. So Havoc roll first. Nothing happening. Stoddard to Trammell. 6-6, and he struck him out. Boy, Stoddard came in and did the job, struck him out. Keeps the Tigers at 1 run and keeps them in the lead. The Yankees in the lead. That'll be it for the Tigers. And Harper will come in and play left field in place of Grubb. So, new pitcher for the Tigers will be coming on. And we'll see who that's supposed to be. It looks like it's going to be Mark Thurmond, a left-hander. So we'll go to their bullpen for the Tigers. The only lefty they have in the pen is Mark Thurmond. Willie Hernandez is not on the roster yet. I guess he was injured at this point. So he is not on the roster, in case you're curious. So Thurmond is on to try to keep the score where it is. He'll be facing Pascal, Ward, and Pagliarulo. 2 out of 3 are left-handed. Of course, the Yankees could counter with a pinch hitter of their own if they would like. Pascal's a pretty decent defender, though, so they're gonna let him hit away. Hey, Rob, how you doing? So Pasqua will be facing Thurmond. That's a 6-5, and that's a line out to third base. So he lines out to Coles for 1 away. That'll bring up Gary Ward. And Righetti is in the bullpen waiting to come in for the Yankees to get the save. Thurmond, 5'8", right-handed against Ward is a walk. So Gary Ward will walk. That brings up Pagliarulo. Ward will not be held. So Thurmond to Pagliarulo. 4-6, and that's a single 2 stars. So Thurmond can't get it done. And runners are now at the corners with only 1 out from Rick Cerrone, who came in for the injured Skinner. And now, let's see if the Tigers are going to their bullpen. They're going to bring out a right-hander, try to get out of the inning. And the right-hander that's coming on is going to be Nate Snell. Nate Snell, 1-2 with a 3.96 ERA in real world, will be coming on and try to get out of this. Thurman's only going to go a third of an inning, give up a walk and a hit. Snell will be coming on, facing Cerrone with runners on the corners and 1 out. They're going to play back for the double play. He's got a lot of ground ball A's on his card. So they're going to take a chance they could turn 2. 3-12. It's a fly ball, left field B question mark, so it's a possible sacrifice fly. Ward runs at a 14. Left fielder Herndon, his arm is a +1, so that makes him a 15. Then you add 2 more, makes him a 17. 1-17, he scores. 18-20, he's out. So he scores. Sacrifice fly turned in by Rick Cerrone, and that is a big insurance run. Puts the Yankees ahead 6-4. 2 down now for Wayne Tollison. Runner at first, Pagliarulo not being held. Snell to Tollison. 3-8, and that's a fly to right to end the inning. But the Yankees get an insurance run on that sacrifice fly. And we go to the 9th. It'll be Dave Righetti looking to close it out. Stoddard went a third of an inning, got a strikeout. Clements went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and a walk. And a run, obviously. No walks, and he also had a strikeout. No, I'm sorry, the strikeout was belonging to Stoddard. So there you go. There, Thurmond, third of an inning. Let me get to the computer. It'll tell me. I'll figure all that stuff out later because I don't want to sit here and waste time. So right now, Dave Righetti, closer for the Yankees, coming on. Try to wrap this game up for the Pinstripers. Righetti has 2 saves on the season so far. So Righetti is on. And let's see if they want to do any pinch hitting with the right-handers. They do have Mike Heath, a righty, but right now they got Coles, Lemon, and well, they'll pinch hit for Lowry for sure with Mike Heath. So Heath is going to pinch hit for Lowry for sure. So we know that's going to happen. Heath will pinch hit. So it's going to be Coles. It's going to be Coles, Lemon, and Mike Heath. Those are will be your scheduled hitters because Heath was pinch hitting. If I can find the Heath card, there he is. So he will take the place of the departed Dwight Lowry. So all right-handers coming up for the Tigers. Bottom of the 9th, or top of the 9th rather. 6-4 ball game. Righetti trying to close it out, facing Darnell Coles, who's 0 for 3. It's a 4-11. Right-handed, that's a fly left field X. That is the left fielder, Pasqua. He's a 3-5. 3 and a 2, that's trouble. 3 and a 2 might be a double. And it is. It'll be a double for Coles. Check for an error. His error rating, whoops, so drop a D6. The error rating on Pasqua is an E5. And so he has to avoid 4, 14, and 18. Which he does. But it's a double. Leadoff double for Darnell Coles. Now the tying runs at the plate in Chet Lemon. Lemon is 2 for 3. Havoc roll for Righetti. Nothing going on. 5-4, and that's a strikeout and a big one for Dave Righetti. Righetti gets the K on Lemon. 1 down, and here's Mike Heath. He is pinch hitting for Lowry and would stay in the game to catch if it goes to the bottom of the 9th. .111 against the lefty. That's a ballpark blast. 1-9, but that's an 11. Boy, if he had been left-handed, that would have been a home run, but he's right-handed. 1-11, 1-9 for the ballpark blast. That's an 11. It's just a deep fly to left that is hauled in by Pasqua for out number 2. And now we're down to Tom Brookins, but Brookins can hit lefties. So if you're a Tiger fan, don't give up hope. He can hit lefties. Hello, Astro. How you doing? Hello, Troy. How you doing? I missed an error. Did I miss an error? Where did I miss an error? Did I miss an error? Let's see here. Let's look under further review here. Did I roll a 14? Did I roll a 14? You're saying I rolled a 14 on the double chance? Is that exactly what happened? I rolled an error? Yes, okay. Well, 14, I'm glad you caught that for me. 14 is a two-base error, so he's going to actually score on that play. It's going to be a double and an E7. So that makes it a 6-5 game, but still now the bases are empty. So thank you for correcting that and catching me on that so I can get that corrected. So the run does score. It'll be a double, and then two-base error allows him to score. So Cole's not only doubled, but scored on the two-base error by Pasqua. But the next two made out, so now it's down to Tom Brookins. 2 outs, bases clear. It's a 6-5 game. It's one of these Righetti saves where you never know what's going to happen. 6-3, that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Tollison. He's a 3E22. A 3 and a 9. 3 and a 9. 3 and a 9 is a G3, so now we're looking for an error. E22, he's got to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18. And that's a 6. It's another error. Do you believe that? Righetti's got to feel like he's snake bit. That's an E6. Second error of the inning on the Yankees, and the game continues. Brookins will have to be held because he's got that asterisk there, so they're going to have to hold him. So another error. 2 in the inning on the Yankees, 3 in the game for the Yankees because they had a throwing error in the first inning. So that's 3 errors on the Yankees in this game already. Tigers, I just have the 1 error. So now Brookins is at first. Havoc roll. Nothing going on. Will he try to get the lead? Needs a 6 or a 7. Righetti's a -5 hold, though, so that's going to probably put a kibosh on everything. So I think he's going to hold, and they're going to turn it over to Lou Whitaker and let Lou Whitaker have a chance. You don't want to get caught stealing with Whitaker at the plate, so they're going to trust Lou Whitaker and see what he can do. 4-6, and he strikes out to end the ball game. So Righetti gets out of it, gives up a run, but nothing else. Boy, how big was that run in the bottom of the 8th? That sacrifice fly did it. Gave them the actual difference they needed. And the Yankees win it 6-5. And now I'll go finish putting the game in the computer and get all the stats for you, so you can see who the winner was, the loser was, who got the save, and all that good stuff. So right now I've got to go back to the bottom of the 8th to put in for the Yankees. Also got to put in the defensive players for the Tigers, so I get all the stats, make sure they're accumulated correctly. And let's see, bottom of the 8th, we also need Thurman in the game instead of Morris. And in right field is Herndon. All right. So Pasqua, line to third. Ward walked. Single by Pagliarulo. Put him to third base. And then the sac fly by Cerrone was the difference. And Tollison flew to right. All right, and then Righetti comes on. Looking to save the day. Faces Coles and gets Coles gets a double plus an error. On the left fielder Pasqua, and then Lemon strikes out. Pinch hitter Heath for Lowry flies to left. Sorry, I'm getting caught up on this to get it all accurate. So he flies to left. Then Brookins reaches on a one-base error by Tollison. And then Lou Whitaker strikes out to end the game. So there we go. Now I can go to the box score and get all the definitive stats for this game. One stat is the Yankees improved to 8-5. The Tigers dropped to 5-7. Jack Morris takes the loss. He's now 0-3. Winning pitcher is Rick Rhoden. He's now 2-1. Saved Righetti his third. So Righetti goes 1 inning, gives up a hit and a run, which was unearned. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Thurmond goes 1 inning. I'm sorry, it goes a third of an inning. Check that. Where'd it go here? Thurmond, where are you? He goes a third of an inning, and he is charged with that run. Snell goes 2/3 of an inning and gives up nothing. So 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for the Tigers. They left on 5. 6 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for the Yankees. They left on 6. So there you go. Yankees now 8-5. Tigers now 5-7. But everybody's looking up at Milwaukee, who is 11-2. So Tigers fall further and further behind, and they were the American League East champions in real world. But of course, they don't have Trammell playing every day, and they don't have Willie Hernandez, and they're playing with some guys that aren't. They don't have Bill Madlock. He'll come in a trade later. So I'm sure later in the season they will improve. Jack Morris off to a very bad start. 90 Reds in History Maker Baseball. Opening day will be New Year's Day. I'm not sure the exact time, maybe 10 or 11 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood will be for that. But yeah, Yankees take it to the Tigers here on April 20th. Next video on Strat-O-Matic for this project will be Toronto at Cleveland. It'll be Jimmy Key against Tom Candiotti. So now that I've added the stats in, I'll read off the standings to you real quickly. Up-to-date standings, Milwaukee actually is 11-1, and they lead Toronto by 3 games. Toronto's 8-4. Yankees are now 3.5 back at 8-5. Cleveland is 7-6. They're 4.5 out. Detroit falls to 5-7. They're 6 games out. Baltimore's 4-9. They're 7.5 games out. And Boston is 2-10. They are 9 games out. In the West, the surprising Oakland A's are 11-2. Chicago White Sox are in second at 7-4, 3 games back. Seattle 7-6, they're 4 games back. And then Texas and Kansas City are both 4-7. Minnesota 4-8, and California rounds it out at 3-9. So there you have it. Strat-O-Matic, super advanced. And thank you all for catching that mistake I made, not noticing that there was an error on that play. It wouldn't have affected the game, but it would have affected a run being scored. And it ended up being an unearned run, so it didn't hurt the earned run average. But so actually, Righetti, he had the unearned run allowed. So in all, it didn't hurt anything, but I do like to be accurate when I can. So I do appreciate you guys catching all of that. Tomorrow morning, like I said, I've already recorded games 4 and 5 of the Inside Pitch 1979 World Series. So game 4, which is Jim Bibby against Dennis Martinez, I will upload that tomorrow morning sometime. And then on Saturday, I'll upload game 5. And then we'll see if there's a game 6 or a game 7 that needs to be played after that. And like I said, I'll play some more Strat offline to get all those games played and get up to April 21st and get ready for Toronto and Cleveland before the History Maker Baseball project takes off in full force on opening day, New Year's Day, January 1st. Houston Astros hosting the Cincinnati Reds, which to me is a blasphemy that the Reds were not playing at home on opening day like they had been doing for years and years and years. But in 1990, they started them on the road for 6 games. They were in Houston for 3 and in Atlanta for 3 before finally coming home. But the Reds are going to go to Houston and take it to Mike Scott opening day. I have that feeling. But we'll see how it turns out. Really interesting to get back to History Maker Baseball. I haven't done that game in a long time. Looking forward to it. I want to see how the game book does all the hot and cold and injuries and all that good stuff, and we'll just see what happens. I'll try to use as played as much as I can, but if injuries come up or anything like that, of course I have to do that. For the opposing team, there will be as played only. I'm not going to do game day checks for them. So I'll try to keep it fair for the opposing teams. But the Reds in 1990. See what they can do. So that's gonna do it from here. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas holiday. And if you're off from work, that's a blessing. I'm off. I was off today and I'm off Friday. Had to work Monday and Tuesday, but I was off Wednesday, Thursday, and now tomorrow, Friday. Back to work for myself on Monday. But I had to do a lot of yard work this afternoon. So I played some games this morning. Went out, did yard work, got a little sore, so now I rested up, come out and do this. And now tomorrow morning I'll be able to upload what I played today, and then probably have that going while I do some yard work. I don't know, depending on the weather, how that plays out. But I do thank you all for tuning in. 30 people here, that's amazing. Hello, Stick Tap Sports. I didn't see you guys there. I didn't see you. I'm not the best at looking at the chat, so sometimes if I get engrossed in the game, I don't see who's here, and I don't want to offend anybody. Asher Reefer, if I didn't say hello to you. But I think I got most everybody. Rob, exclamation point, the Virginia man, the only guy on YouTube I've actually met in person. So that was a treat to do. I'd love to live closer to other people so I could do the same, but most everybody else lives way, way away, and I'm too far from Strat-O-Matic headquarters to go to opening day, so that would be like a 6-hour drive for me. I really don't want to do that. Well, thank you, Robert. My equipment sucks, but I try to make up for it with hopefully good managing and clear presentation verbally. Hopefully, I don't know, but anyway, a lot of good YouTubers out there that stream games, and particularly Strat-O-Matic. If you haven't seen Spokane Steve, he's very good at that. He's a very good streamer for Strat-O-Matic. He's doing a 1966 replay. I would definitely check him out if you have not before. Spokane Steve is his channel name. I think he's changed it once, but I think it's Spokane Steve. It used to be Aqualung, but I think now it's Spokane Steve. And then of course Jeffrey Gudeman, who I've talked to on several occasions, also is playing Strat-O-Matic 1962 replay. So there's several of us doing Strat-O-Matic, but not that I want to hurry up and finish the Inside Pitch World Series, but I want to get that done so that I can concentrate on just the Strat-O-Matic and the History Maker, and that's it. Because when I'm doing 2 full season replays like this, that's a lot with my schedule. Hello, thank you, Harwood. Appreciate that. Now, of course, the History Maker one is not full season. It's just the Reds. It's not everybody. Where this is the whole American League, every game played out. No simming, nothing. Just playing it out. Now, the ones that do offline, I do have the computer up while I'm playing it. So I scored on the score sheet, but then I, put it in the computer at the same time. So, and I do roll the dice on the computer. So that does help me out just a little bit, so I can play those while I'm in bed instead of being upstairs all the time. But it's not simmed, it's played out. I played out for both teams. I first thought about playing the home team myself against the computer so I could have a computer manager, but I really like to have control of both teams, so I play it on both sides. So that's going to do it from here. And like I said, I've already got the score sheet ready for the next game. Jimmy Key against Tom Candiotti, Cleveland and Toronto. And that will be the next game on Strat-O-Matic. But like I said, tomorrow morning, sometime tomorrow morning, I don't know if I'll do a premiere or just let it upload as a video. And that is Game 4 of the Inside Pitch World Series 1979, Orioles and the Pirates, with the Orioles leading 2-1. So that's going to do it from here. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm a little tired myself. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting a little tired. It's kind of hell getting old. 59, I'll be 60 in April, so 2 years away from retirement. 62, I'm going to retire, and hopefully I'm still in decent health, and my mind is still good at 62. Then I plan on doing a lot of this hobby full time, and really getting a lot of stuff done. I look forward to it more than you know. So looking forward to it. Another 2 years and change. 2 years and about 5 months, 4 months, whatever it is, and then I can look forward to retirement. I'll probably still do. I'll probably have a part-time job somewhere just to keep busy, but it won't be a 40-hour week job like I have now. It'll be something maybe like 15, 20 hours a week where I have a lot of days off to pursue my hobbies. And after 30-something years of work, I think that's probably a good thing to do. Try to enjoy your senior years while you still have decent health. I know some people that keep working and working and working, and they end up passing away before they get a chance to retire, which is a sad thing. But anyway, not to end on a downer, but got rambling there. So anyway, final score: Yankees 6, Tigers 5. Rick Rhoden the winner, 2-1. Morris the loser, 0-3. Righetti his third save, and the Yankees improved to 8-5 as they chase the 11-1 Milwaukee Brewers in the American League East. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, how we choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.